things like that, that's really when you do hurt yourself. So a little bit of balancing act, but again, there's a lot of players out there, backup kind of guys that are working to plant a seed in their coach's mind.
Jesse Newman has drawn in place of Valley. Nick Moore in motion. Lule stays in the game. And a pass for Moore in the flat. Short gain for Nick Moore has a couple.
You know, you talk about that streak for Travis Lule on the line here at 26 games consecutive with a touchdown pass. He's going to run out of time pretty soon because he won't be in the second half. I'm certain of that. Mike Riley will play. We might even see Thomas DeMarco before it's over.
Lule, the leading rusher among quarterbacks in the CFL. Darian Durant, number 2. Not expecting to see Durant at all, and we're not expecting to see Lule run with the football in this game. 2nd and 8. And Lule's going to take his shot. And incomplete. Nick Moore, the intended target, working against Chris McKenzie.
It's the first real sign from Travis Lule that he didn't look like he had the zip or the strength. Now, I'm not sure if this was just a timing issue, but pretty straight go route. And had he put a little more air under this football and let Nick Moore go ahead and run under it, they might have had to play the BC Lions. Now, McKenzie is going to catch up and make a good play when the ball arrives, but that was underthrown.
And McCallum looking for the corner and just missing it. It'll be a long allowed single for Paul McCallum, and it looks like Travis Lule might be done. Benavides over to congratulate his quarterback. Brought to you by Purolator, tackling hunger across Canada. Check. Need a couple more sacks. This tally coming into the game. Prior to it, we've had 2 sacks in the game.
Right there.
So we're right there.
Schultze wanted $1 million. We can get $1 million. Now, we've had a couple tonight. One by Anthony Reddick, one by Brent Hawkins. A couple more. We'll get there.
Yeah. 1 or 2 more just to make sure. Easy for us to say up here.
That's what the quarterbacks are saying to us. Yeah, easy for you guys to say.
Let's see if they can grab a first down first. Corey Sheets straight ahead, and he has a couple. And Sheets right in this race for most yards from scrimmage. And with one big play, he could still finish first overall.
And his snap count's got to be dropping quickly here too, as far as how long he'll be in the game. I think it's a huge risk to have him out there even right now. They got a semifinal in Calgary in a week. They're going to need a run game.
Looking for a first down here. Here comes the heat. Willie will step up and take off, but Drew Willie's got a first down. And the slide across midfield in front of J.R. LaRose. So the Roughriders chalk up their first down of the game. Saw Drew Willie run effectively in that great relief performance in the Banjo Bowl against the Bombers.
Adam Bighill's up in the line of scrimmage. He goes on the blitz. A little stunt from the outside with Jabbar Westerman. The guy who had a shot at him was Kareem Smith, but his speed and quickness in the decision-making process for Willie saved him there. He made the decision quickly and got out of there.
17 yards, that's more than they had in the opening quarter. First down midfield. There's Brandon West straight ahead. And he's wrestled down at the 44-yard line. Elamimian in at the middle linebacker spot now. Brandon West, who a lot of people thought when the season started would be the starting running back last year. 45 carries, 233 yards. Behind Wes Keats, that's just his 7th run of 2012.
Well, and that's another reason that I think it's important that he plays basically the rest of the way. Get him some more hits, get him some more touches, feels more comfortable in case Corey Sheets goes down early in the playoff game.
2nd down. Willie over the middle, and Scott McHenry couldn't find the handle. He's been a reliable receiver of late. 14 of his 19 catches in the month of October, but one he drops there that will snuff a Rider drive. Here's Ismail Bamba, and what a story that is. Bamba without photo ID, so instead of flying with the team, took that 20-hour equipment truck ride from Regina to Vancouver. Be fun to watch him tonight in his first regular season game.
He was given the choice. He can take you off the roster, don't worry, but he goes, absolutely not. I'll take the 20-hour drive.
Tim Brown on the return, and Mike Riley at quarterback when we come back. Mike Riley's first possession of the game will start at the Lion 3-yard line.
Well, now it's official. Travis Lulay took a shot to Nick Moore to try and get that touchdown to keep his streak alive. It looks like that will end tonight because it looks like Travis Lulay's night is over.
Now in the quarterback.
It looked like he had some velocity in that shoulder. Was okay.
Riley 1-1 in his 2 starts in place of Travis Lulay. Little shotgun snap, and he's got to take off, but it opens up, and now he's got a little breathing room. Harris Jackson jostling, along with Macho Harris after the play.
Oh, hot snap down low. Left leg, left ankle height on Mike Riley, and he just didn't even hesitate. Broken play, take off and get what you can. He ends up getting out of trouble there.
Got inside Tate George and turns it upfield for 13. Well, Riley impressed us in his game against Edmonton, and it all went wrong early against Calgary, but then he got the ship righted and put up some decent numbers last week as well. Underneath it goes, and here's Lambala with another touch, and he'll get outside and up across the 35-yard line for the fullback. And those 2 plays to Lambala will give the defensive coordinators on opposing teams a little bit more to work with.
Well, it's that tendency breaker, and you jump it off, and if you're going to get blocking up here by the outstanding lineman nominee for the BC Lions and Javon Olafioye, you get that kind of protection. Mike Riley's going to start to do some damage in the passing game. Pretty nice play from the right tackle.
10 touches on the year for Lambala coming into the game, and 2 here in the first half. And now Harris straight ahead. And Andrew Harris up to the 45-yard line.
There's your Canadian nominee from the BC Lions for outstanding player. Be an interesting race between he and John Cornish. The Travis Lulay is the outstanding player nominee. Adam Bighill will go head-to-head with J.C. Sherritt. I like that pick for rookie as well, and Jabbar Westerman. Great season for him in his first campaign. A chance to play more with Khalif Mitchell and some of the injuries and suspensions that have gone on in the D-line for the BC Lions. Jabbar Westerman got more chance to play.
Harris Jackson in motion. 2nd and 2. Riley will throw, and the crosser's complete. And Marco Iannuzzi drops the football. Gene Patrick's on it. It's Rough Rider football at their 48-yard line.
Now let's take a look at this again. Marco Iannuzzi on this crossing route is hit, goes down. I just want to check and see if he was down by contact. Tyron Brackenridge again. He gets a hit there. Now the ball doesn't come out there though. Now he goes down. The left knee goes down.
He may be down, and we'll get the challenge flag from the Lions sidelines. Left knee down, and now the ball comes out. Of course, Iannuzzi, nice to see him back in the lineup after that huge hit, the knockout from D. Webb in Hamilton a few weeks ago. And Arlen Bruce.
BC is challenging the ruling of a fumble on the play. We will review the play.
Arlen Bruce still out from his concussion suffered in the last meeting between these 2 teams on that big collision with Bill Collins.
Let's take one more look at this and see if he had actually lost control of the football before the knee touches. Now his left knee is down there. Now as he lost control, his knee and backside have touched. Does he still have control of the football right there?
Seems to be pinning it against his shoulder. So down there, you can see the ball is...
Boy, it starts coming out.
It starts to come out. I go back to that Jock Sanders fumble. I believe it was against BC, and they ruled he had it pinned against his leg, and so an apparent fumble was ruled as down by contact. And is this similar in reverse, or is that ball out and not pinned up long enough against the shoulder? Command center will have to. But there's the knee down even before it comes across. You lose sight of the ball on that ruling, or on that view. Iannuzzi immediately got up and pointed as if he was down. Yep. Wasn't much doubt we were going to get a challenge.
See, his knee is touched there, and now it's just a matter of whether or not the command center is going to rule that he's down there. Now, is this control? Like that Jock Sanders with him pinning it on the leg, you don't necessarily have to have it in that typical football position under your arm to have control of the ball. But was he losing it? Was it flying through the air and just close to his body? Or
with all that said, I must admit I was surprised by the call on
so was I.
On Sanders. And so is that the new precedent, or do we get a different viewpoint this time?
After review, the ruling on the field is overturned. The player was down prior to the fumble. First down.
So the Lions maintain possession.
And it's a similar ruling.
And so the Lions will have a first down just shy of midfield. Out of a double tight end formation, Gore now sets up at a wide receiver spot. Harris out of the backfield. Riley takes a look, looks for Gore, and he's got him. Down to the 36-yard line. Sean Gore the catch in front of Tristan Jackson.
Mike Riley's kind of playing back toward more like that game he played against the Edmonton Eskimos in his first start when he beat them. Watch how he looks off the defensive second. Look to his left. Doesn't like anything over here. Still has the composure. No problem. Don't like that. Come back. Have a nice throwing lane. And there comes Sean Gore on the crossing run.
Riley 19 for 28 for 276 against Edmonton. 19 for 26, 261 against Calgary. So very similar numbers. Here's Harris. Found the crease again, and Andrew Harris down to the 24-yard line has another BC first down.
Little wildcat. Mike Riley will sell this as he comes out of his stance and tries to show the Saskatchewan defense that this snap is high. Watch how he turns like, whoa, I've lost it over here, guys. Follow me. And Andrew Harris goes the opposite direction.
Behind Big Ben Archibald. And Tristan Jackson went down and is getting attention.
That may mean that Craig Butler comes out to play free safety, and they'll bump James Patrick to the corner.
While Jackson gets attention, we'll step out here midway through the second quarter. It's on Much More's Wedding Band. It's edgy, very funny, and it's only on Much More. Wedding Band series premiere next Saturday, 10 Eastern and Pacific.
Mike Riley got off to a slow start. Tristan Jackson on the bench, so it will be James Patrick out to the corner. Craig Butler at safety. Riley has now gone 6 plays, 83 yards. This drive started on the Lions on their own 3-yard line.
Andrew Harris, 6 carries, 44 yards and a touchdown here in the first half. Riley throws. He's got a man open. And the catch made by Sean Gore. Harris over to make the tackle, but the Lions with another first down inside the 15.
And Mike Riley shows some courage here to stand in there. He knew he had to hold it for a split second longer and take the hit. He had to get this.
David Vaikune with the heat.
Vaikune coming through on that stunt, and he knew he had to wait that extra second. But will take the hit to complete this one to an open Gore on the sideline.
So Riley 4 for 4 on the drive. First down, pass complete. There's Gore again, and he'll be pumped out around the 6-yard line. Well, he wasn't as good last week, but
slow start. Very slow start, but the whole team
none
had
of the Lions were very good last week.
Well, down 34-0 at one point, but he did climb back into it was a bad weather game, and he climbed back, played a very good second half. A couple of good touchdown drives. Mike Benavides was very happy with their second half, not so much the first.
2nd and 3. Over the middle, pass for Moore, incomplete. Bump there by Chris McKenzie to break it up.
High fastball here from Mike Riley, and Nick Moore was only about 15 yards away from him, and that one just got away on him. Those inside routes, receivers want them down in the chest so that they can protect themselves from the hit coming from behind them. And Riley knows it.
Good chat with the young Argo quarterback Trevor Harris about that, and how that's what a young quarterback's got to work on. Placement of the ball, and how good a guy like Ricky Ray or Travis Lulay is in putting it in the exact spot it's got to be. So McCallum on for a short field goal attempt. He'll put it through, an 11-yarder. Well, let's call it 13, a 13-yarder, and an 11-0 lead for BC. So a good-looking drive engineered by the backup quarterback of the BC Lions, and the Roughriders under Drew Willie's controls trying to get something established.
What a drive though for Mike Riley. Didn't finish with a major, but you consider it started on the 3-yard line. A 2-and-out there, and the Riders are getting it back. Maybe a 2-point safety. That's an outstanding drive, even to get it out of your own end and kick it away.
Pressure on Willie, trying to get away. And he does for a moment, and finally drops. Ball pops loose. They're ruling him down at the 30-yard line. It's another sack.
Well, he is under siege all game long. Khalid Mitchell hustling to that loose ball, but I believe he was down, Chris. I'm just amazed how many guys he made miss back there.
That ball starting to come out.
Now, he's still got control there.
Got it back and
elbow down.
And so 2nd and a bunch. Here comes Westerman. Willie stands up, and Lin J. Shell, a shovel pass, and there's Bamba, who's got a first down. Ismail Bamba with his first catch in the Canadian Football League, had a touchdown in the preseason, but suddenly that 20-hour drive is nothing after a catch to bail out his quarterback.
Yeah, I love the dedication from Ismail Bamba to get a chance to play in this game and to do what he had to do to get here, and then to come out and bail out Drew Willie, who was going down again. And he just found a spot. Good for the young guy to find a little opening. Bail out his quarterback.
Barry Jones mentioned to me before the game they were going to get the ball to him. They're going to find out if he had 20-hour legs or not. There's a handoff inside.
West, number 9.
And West up over the 50-yard line, has 4 more. I mean, there are a lot of good stories in this league, but that Bamba story is one of the best. I guess he sent his passport away for some purposes in the New York area, and because of Hurricane Sandy, it never got back in time.
Late draft pick, and he has some good speed, and what an opportunity. But I love the commitment, the dedication. Worked hard on the practice roster all year long, and being the scout team. And the coach said you got a chance to play. I bet he would have ran here if he had to.
Just glad the game wasn't in Montreal. Willie has time underneath there, and Hargraves has a catch, and he'll get stacked up at the 54-yard line short of the first down.
Adam Bighill gets over there and puts a hit on Hargraves.